Hi, Mary. Hi, Madeline. Are we ready for the teacher support circle?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm so glad we're sharing our ideas. It's improved my teaching. It's made my life easier.
I agree. My students seem happier and they're using more English, but I'm still having some challenges with the textbook. It's not a bad thing, but the author of the textbook doesn't know me or my students, and I know how much practice my students need and what topics that they're interested in. I'm looking for ways to make the text more relevant for the students so that they can have the right amount of support and practice.
Right. I like to think of myself as the co-author of the textbook. Like you said, the authors don't know your students, and they don't know us. They don't know our philosophy of teaching, our style, right? What we think about teaching and learning. And they don't know our context or our students, but we do. So I think we have to be brave and be able to kind of adapt the textbook so that it's more relevant to our students and to ourselves.
So how can we change the textbook?
We can do little things like we can skip certain parts, or we can complete the chapters in different order. We can add content from our context to supplement the textbook. We can even change or add activities or readings that's not in the textbook.
Yeah, adding activities to make the textbook come to life isn't too hard, and that would help. Do you have any specific ideas on how to do that?
Well, there are a lot of different type of activities. Like you have whole class activity, large group activities, small group, pair, and even individual activities. What I think is important is that you have a good combination of groupings in each class.
I can see how changing the groupings of students and activities can help keep the students active and learning. But what do you find works especially well for you, Mike?
Well, students in a large class can respond physically to the prompt of a teacher by holding up cards that says yes or no, true or false. And when a class is too large for a total physical response, TPR, we can use hand TPR. So in a large class, it's hard for 70 students to walk to a window and to close it. But what they can do is use their hand gesture to walk to the window and then close it. It's called hand TPR. It's kind of like a sign language.
That would work really well in low-tech contexts. So I got an email from a friend recently, and she's teaching in a really challenging context. Like us, she has lots of students in every class and at all different levels. But in her situation, she only has one textbook for every 3 students, and she doesn't have any electricity. So do you have any ideas?
I think a lot of teachers work with little to no technology, and we as well should always be ready with a plan B.
Or maybe C, D, or E, because sometimes the technology breaks or the electricity goes out. Often I find in low resource contexts that teachers are forced to be really creative, like asking students to use a stick to write in the sand, or asking the community to help develop materials you would use, like teaching vocabulary through short stories and using big books. So big books are about like a meter high, and you can use the back of an old poster or cardboard, and you write the text really large at the bottom and have community members illustrate them for the children. We use that in refugee camps with large groups, and it worked pretty well.
And some low-tech activities can be made high-tech if all the students have access to a smartphone. For example, without technology or electricity, students can do cartoon stories. But if they have access to a phone, they can do digital stories, taking pictures from the community and then using them. And if photocopies are expensive, then students in groups can copy different paragraphs and then share with each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Try that sometime. Yeah.